All right, hello. Welcome to the my boss prediction video series for Liberation Undermined. This is the seventh boss, Muggsy, Heads of Security, which is an ogre. Got a bit of a photo for this one. All right. So the description for Muggsy is buddies from the day they were born. Muggsy's two heads are the topper of a giant hulk of an ogre enforcer, specifically hired by Gallywix to oversee his casino's day-to-day activities. In recent weeks, Muggsy's been reassigned to keep anyone and everyone out of Gallywix's innermost chambers. Alright, so for this one, I saw a little bit of the boss room in a stream. I'm not able to find the photos since, so I'm thinking maybe they were not, those photos might not have supposed to have been out, or the photo rather, was just a photo. But one half is light, one half or lighter than the other half. One half's dark, one half's still dark but like lighter. Um, Makes me kind of wonder if it's like an aesthetic thing or if it's for a mechanic. And since we have like nothing to go on, let's pretend it's for a mechanic because I kind of have an idea on how this could be used. So, I think what'll happen is there'll be a debuff on players depending what side of the room they're on. So maybe like a magic debuff on one and like a physical debuff. I don't know. Maybe you're taking extra physical damage on one side, more magic damage on the other. But you must move to opposite sides in order to clear it. Actually, like I'm thinking of amalgamation. So remember when you were doing amalgamation and then one boss you had like the fire debuff and the other side you had the shadow debuff. So something like that. I'm thinking it's going to be something along those lines. And in order to clear your stacks, you got to move to opposite sides. But then you get then you get the other debuff, and then you'll have both of them very briefly, but then one of them will eventually fall off, and you only have the one. So it'll be like that. And then like something like on Mythic, it doesn't clear, but instead it'll stop stacking when you move. So it's about managing the stacks of debuff. Maybe you got to get hit by a frontal or something in order to remove it in Mythic. That doesn't happen until later or something. Or maybe you get hit by lasers and lasers remove it, because I have that in here too. So I'll also have Muggsy does a charge at a random player. Everyone has to soak that charge. I think that would be fun, but maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a void. But I feel like it's like a soak would be kind of good. And then you're forcing people to go, and like on Heroic it leaves a debuff, and so you have to rotate players, but you also have to rotate people on the right sides, and so like it gets complicated and kind of makes you think, which would make sense for a seventh boss, second last boss of the raid. So each of the two heads does a different frontal. Once a tank is hit by that frontal, it does 200% more damage next time the tank is hit by it, so they gotta swap heads. And then lasers come down from the ceiling and you gotta dodge those. So maybe P1 is just kind of the intro, and then P2, it's all about the lasers and dodging them while doing the mechanics, sometimes forcing you to a side that you don't want to be on because lasers just come down from the ceiling and it just covers that entire side, so you gotta swap sides. So maybe you get a little bit more of that debuff that you don't want, and then you gotta go back over and let it drop off and clear. Or if it times it right, that's when you swap to the other side. And that about lines up in the same way that like after a couple in amalgamation, after a couple of it's like the second big big thing where you have like your shadows you drop off on the side and the fire you do the soak, and after like the second time you do that, that's about the time you swap, so you can position yourself in a way that makes sense for running and doing the swap. And they kind of all line up, so it happens all at once. I'm thinking probably gonna be like 3 phases. So I didn't see a lot on the walls, but it didn't look like there was anything there that would indicate like lasers. But like security systems have lasers, so maybe he's able to call that. I don't know if there would be much Like we already kind of have our council style boss early on, right? With the cauldron. So this wouldn't be that, but this could be a cool like council within a single boss kind of thing. Maybe both heads have different health. Although I can't see that. I can see it only being one, and the different heads have different attacks. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about that. I can't see it being like pulling out a weapon or something to necessarily attack us. I can see it being the frontal from each head, and that's kind of it. Just because Gallywix has the cannon, so I can't see something like that happening twice. Like imagine P3, he just pulls out a gun, and starts firing at us, and we have to dodge bullets. I feel like that'd be insane. Um, but I can see security lasers coming down, and we have to position ourselves in the middle of things. Maybe there's like a break in there. If you're, I'm thinking of like Mother when Mother has the lasers, but like that's like the side of the room too. So I am thinking. So yeah, Mother has the lasers on the side of the room. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe something along those lines. But again, not from the sides, just because I didn't see anything there. Maybe from the front and back. We didn't really see the back of the room. It was just the sides. Um, but top would make sense. It coming from the top. But like, there's gotta be a mechanic like that in there. It looks simple. I mean, maybe he calls for backup. But again, that's like another ad fight, and I feel like One Arm Bandit was the perfect ad fight for this, and Muggsy would just kind of be like single boss and a bunch of mechanics that would kind of be cool to deal with. And having the floor be split and getting a debuff from the floor, I think that would be probably what would make sense because you have your floor to deal with, and then you have your ceiling lasers to deal with if that's going to be a thing. And that would kind of, be the big things to deal with, and then some small other things, including a frontal from each one for the tank. And that would be cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can see it being 3 phases, but I don't know what the third phase would really be, except like more lasers and maybe like he's in a suit. So I'm just trying to think like what else? I don't know. There's not. I don't have much else to say about this boss actually. So I think I'm gonna end it here. That's kind of my prediction. It's short, not a whole lot to go on, but yeah, no, that's I feel like that's kind of all I can sort of predict without going crazy off the wall theory that would never happen. Not that I have one. I wish I did, but I don't. But yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for joining. Bye.